we introduced a rotational motion in general. Remember, we said when you are having a rotational motion, it simply means that there's going to be something known as the angular displacement. You are going to have things such as in angular acceleration. So it simply means that you are rotating an object. Just as between linear motion and rotational motion. If I say this duster is moving, this is linear motion. But if it is rotating around a fixed point, rotational motion. So rotational motion your object is rotating around a certain axis, around a certain fixed point. For example, I'm holding the duster at the center. I'm holding the duster at the what? At the center. So when I'm rotating this, duster is actually rotating about the what? The central axis. But basically what is causing it to rotate is because I'm applying a force at the what? At the center. I'm pivoting at the center. I use the term pivot. So I can shift my hand and hold the duster here. This is now my new pivot. If I rotate, I'm rotating about this point. So a pivot, you can call it a hinge, something like that. Alright, so in rotational motion, we already discussed basic concept about it. So when something is rotating, let's just say this is my pivot and then this is my object. I'm pivoting it here. When I'm pivoting my object and I say that it is rotating, maybe I apply a force such that it rotates. So many force that I'm applying, I'm going to apply it to the duster here, exactly at this point, right? For example, I'm applying the force here. So if force it is an upward force. So this is the force that I'm applying to the duster. So as I'm applying this force to the duster while I'm fixing it at a certain point, because the point is literally fixed, that is actually what's causing the duster to do what? To rotate. Okay, so basically we expect your duster to be somewhere here. Basically we expect your duster maybe to be somewhere here, but at the end of the day, these points are fixed. Alright, so as they are fixed, whenever we're having a rotational motion, we already know that we're going to have an angular displacement. An angular displacement. And the angular displacement, remember, angular displacement is equal to the S over R, where S is the arc length, the actual distance traveled by this dust. So I'm just refreshing your memory so that you can actually see how does torque apply to all of this. So basically, when apply a force, we know a force actually causes object to move in straight lines. For example, this is an object. Let's just assume that it's on a table, right? And then I apply a force. If force is a linear quantity, right? Because I'm applying it along a straight line. Because the force but when I apply a force, a linear force, it causes an object to move in a what? In a linear motion. But when I fix the object at a certain point, if I apply the force, you see the object I move in what? In linear motion because I'm fixing it. If I apply the force in this case, is a rotate. So if force it is actually giving a rotational motion, but the actual rotational motion is caused by the torque. So basically torque is the same thing as what? As force. But in this case, torque it is a force that causes something to do what? To rotate. So isn't it? Yes. So a torque, basically, whenever we're talking about torque, torque to an extent it is equivalent to force. Let me just use the three equal sign just for my convenience. So torque it is equivalent to force, or let me just say it is directly proportional to force. So it simply means if I apply a bigger force, this thing will rotate more. So isn't it? Because once you apply a force, this will rotate slow. It will rotate a smaller rotation. Kind of get the sense. But if I apply a bigger force, what will happen? It will rotate too much. So yes. So torque and force, they are related, but the actual thing that causes torque to be there, it is the force that you are applying. So the force you apply, it is causing a torque on the object, causing the object to do what? To rotate. Yes, exactly. So we say that torque is directly proportional to force, but there's another thing that affects rotational motion of an object besides the force. Otherwise, we're going to have equal sign here and just say torque and force is the same thing. But because we've got another factor, let's just do this. In I object here. If I apply a force here, let me just apply a force. Rotate. But if I apply a force here, is it rotating? Is it rotating? Apply force land. Yeah, rotator but as comparing the rotational motion, would say which one is accelerating bigger or faster. If I apply a force here at the end, kanjen, or I apply a force here, or I apply a force here, which one is rotating more? So if I apply a force here at the terminal of this object here, this will rotate more. But if I apply a force here very closer to this point of pivot, this thing will not be able to rotate that much. So we can still say that the rotational motion is not only affected by the what? By the force. Because even if I apply a bigger force lana closer to the hinge, this thing will not be able to do what? To rotate. So it's not only the force that contributes to the torque, no matter to the rotational motion, but the distance as well is a contributing factor. So torque as well, we say that torque is also directly proportional to the distance from the pivot. So this is distance from the pivot. Remember, the pivot, it is this fixed point. Let's fix our object here so that it can rotate. Otherwise, if we don't fix our object here, it won't rotate. If I let go of it, it just accelerates downwards. But if I fix it to a certain point and I apply a force at a certain position, it's going to rotate. So if I apply a force here at the end, it's going to rotate more compared to if I apply a force here. Okay, so what is the factor that is causing that? It is the distance from the pivot. So if the distance, okay, mangilana if force yami apply at a distance enkulu from the what? From the pivot, because this is where I'm fixing the what? The object, because this is where I'm holding the object tight. But I'm applying a force at a what? At a distance that is far away from the pivot. So the bigger the distance, the bigger the torque. Because basically, if I apply a force far away from the object, it's going to rotate more compared to if I apply the force closer, whereby it's not going to rotate. So torque is directly proportional to force, and it's also directly proportional to the distance. So torque is a vector. It also has got in its direction as well. Because basically, when something is rotating at a certain direction, right? So basically, torque is a vector quantity. So we use the cross product, not the dot product. So it's the cross product of force vector and the displacement vector, the distance vector. So we know already, how do we express a cross product, right? A cross product in terms of magnitude, it is equals to the magnitude of the force multiplied by the what? By the distance, sine of bani, sine of theta. Whereby theta is the angle between the force and the distance. So basically, if I look at the distance vector, let's try to identify it. In this case, I'm applying a force at the end. And then the distance vector is this one. This is the distance vector. So if we look at the force and the distance vector, okay, let's just write it from LAN. So this is your distance vector. This is your distance vector. If we compare its distance vector and the force vector line, the angle between them in this case is what? Is 90 degrees. In this case, for this particular case, is 90 degrees because I applied my force perpendicular to the what? To the displacement, to the distance. Yes. And you guys already know to sine 90 is equals to 1. I'm sure you guys know sine or whatever trigonometric ratio that you have. Any trigonometric ratio, it has got a maximum value of bani of 1. Yes. So any trigonometric ratio has got a what? A maximum value of 1. So the torque lena is for you to produce more torque. This sine theta must be equal to bani 1. So I'm going to say that for maximum torque, I should get what? Sine theta must be equal to bani to 1. Because any other angle, any other theta angle ungayifaka lana, it is going to give you a value that is what? Less than 1. I'm sure you already know trigonometry. If I put 90 degrees is 1. If I put 45 degrees, it's going to be less than 1. If I put 130 degrees, it's going to be what? Less than 1 nakon. I'm sure you know your reduction formula, so it's equal to 180 minus. So even if you put a bigger angle between the force and the displacement, at the end of the day, the maximum value of this is what? Is 1. That's what I learned. Yes, so for us to get maximum torque, sine theta must be equals to 1. And for sine theta to be equals to 1, what must be the angle of theta lab? 90 degrees. So this suggests that theta must be equals to 90 degrees, but any other factor of 90. Let's just say n pi over 2. This simply means that theta must be an integral multiple of 90 degrees. Means if I put another angle, let's just say we go to 200 and which other angle? 270 degrees. 270 degrees. Sine 270 degrees is going to give you what? 1 as well. So even if you keep on rotating multiple times, look when you say angle, as long as you are on the vertical axis, I'm sure you know these angles are here. We have 90 degrees here. We have 180. We have 0 degrees here. We have got 270 degrees. So if I keep on adding about 180, if I add 180 to this, says about 270 but it's still on the same line. As long as your angle is an integral multiple of 90 degrees, then it is going to be what? It is going to be giving us 1. But you guys will just do a case whereby theta is equals to 90 degrees now. And if 90 degrees is pi over 2 radians, right? Exactly. So basically, for you to get a maximum torque, or for your object to be able to move, to be able to rotate that much, you need an angle to be 90 degrees. Otherwise, if I say force apply again, now I'm applying a force again. So if I apply a force in a certain different angle, I say na pivot point yami, and then this is my object. So this is my pivot point, this is my object. And I say this time I want to apply the force kanjani. And when we apply kanjani, so this is now my applied force. So my applied force here, if I compare the applied force and the distance vector being here, if I look at the angle between them, the angle between them is either above 90 or below 90. In this case, it's above 90, right? It's an obtuse angle. So since this is above 90, sine theta let me just say sine alpha. Sine alpha of this is going to give us a maximum, a smaller value. A smaller value. As long as ngasiyenu 90, or as long as the force yakho ingaqondanga kanjeni, ingekho perpendicular to the displacement, to the distance, then you are never going to get a what? A maximum value. We can look at this practically. If I apply a force kanjeni, rotation will be restricted. It won't rotate that much then. But if I apply a force kanjena, it's going to rotate more. But if I apply a force kancane, it's not going to do a bigger angle or smaller angle. It's not going to be able to rotate. And what if I apply force kanjena directly kanjena? In this way, what is going to happen? Is it going to rotate? No, Wangish. So now we need to prove that mathematically a bit to say, how does that happen? If I have this object of mine and then I apply kanjeni force, I apply force in this direction. This is my applied force. It's either applied kanjena noma ngiyadonsa, any one of them, right? So the distance vector, this is my distance vector. You can see that now these two, they are what? They are parallel to one another. The force vector and the distance vector, they are what? They are parallel to one another. Practically, levels, if you apply in this parallel manner, this thing is not going to rotate. If you apply in the if you apply a force in a perpendicular manner, this is not going to rotate. But now mathematically, how do we prove that? Basically, we're gonna say torque here. To remember, torque, we already said that it is going to be the force times the distance, sine of bani, sine of theta. So now the magnitude of the force, we may not know it because asazi inganani force yethu. And also the distance, we may not know it. But one thing that we are sure about is that the angle theta is known. And sure, remember the angle theta in this case is the angle between the force vector nani and the distance vector. I'm sure you understand cross products, right? Yes. So the distance vector and the force vector makunjena, what is the angle between them? 180. This one, 0 degrees of it. This is applied force. This is distance. They are going in the same direction. Yes. But if it happens with him, if force I'm applying in that direction, now force ikanjena, and then the distance vector is this one. This will be what? What is the angle lan? 180. Yes. So this one is parallel. This is anti-parallel. Parallel, anti-parallel. So both the cases we already seen, if we apply force kanjena, we're not going to rotate this. If we pull this kanjena, we're not going to rotate it as well. So both these cases, they are going to give us zero rotational motion, zero torque. This is because the angle here is what? The angle is either 0 or it is pi radians, which is 180 degrees. And to sine 0, it is what? It is 0 indeed. So we can say that here we are going to always get a torque of bani of 0. And the unit that we use for torque, since we're having force multiplied by displacement, force is measured in newtons, displacement is measured, distance is measured in what? In meters. So this is newtons meters. It's not newtons per meter, it's what? Newtons meters. So here this is the what? The minimum torque. So the maximum torque, we get it if sine theta is 1. The minimum torque, we get it if sine theta is what? Is 0. So the minimum torque, we get it if sine theta is equals to 0. And for that to happen, we already know that theta must be an integral multiple of pi radians. Simply means theta must be anything like 180 degrees, 0 degrees, what other angle? Mulokwa angle, they keep on becoming bigger, but usually we use the reduction formula to reduce our angle. So whenever you are given a bigger angle than 360, just subtract to 360 from it. So usually I'm just going to say that theta can be 0 or can be 180 degrees, so that sine theta will be 0 and we'll get a what? A minimum torque. Do you get the sense what? Size in. All right. So for this to happen, this must be parallel or this must be anti-parallel. For example, if I talk about in umnyango, let's just take a simple example. Umnyango. You know umnyango umi kanjani? Umnyango, it is hinged here. There is a point where umnyango is fixed, like the literal door, this one. So in this case, you can see that it is fixed. I don't know, it's fixed somewhere here. So this is the what? The hinge for the door. That's the hinge. That is the pivot. And then you get just viewing it from the top. It's like so from Pezul. So I'm going to place a handle of the door. So I place up a handle of the door. So I place a lana and I place a closer to the distance to the pivot. Ngalena far away why vele I handle yomnyango bayibeka lana vele? Okay, so that you can get in maximum torque. That is why phela imnyango design ngaleyo ndlela. Otherwise ngabe I handle yomnyango yafakwa lana. Bese wazi uvula lo mnyango. Imagine nje uphusha nje umnyango uthi ngiyavula umnyango lana. Angeke kwenze. So all of it has got engineering precision. It's not like umuntu owavela wathi nje ngiyo invent umnyango nje wa invent umnyango nje easily. They had to kind of analyze ukuthi kahle if I put a handle yami here, I'm going to get a what? A maximum torque, meaning that my door is going to rotate and this is going to be able to open that much. So if I have got this is my distance vector and maybe this is my force vector, the torque will be what? It will be a vector that is perpendicular to them, because torque is a vector quantity. So in this case, if I apply a force and then the distance vector, we can just say it's like this or it's like this, doesn't matter. Basically, this will move in that direction. So the torque vector always is perpendicular to both the both the distance and the force vector, both of them. Yes. All right. So let's now go a bit deeper. So what else can we learn about torque? Because we now know the general definition, the basic definition of torque. All right, so torque should not be confused with force as well, because I already told you guys that torque is not really force alone, but torque and force, they are what? They are directly proportional to one another, because when you apply a force, you cause a what? You cause a torque. But don't confuse it to say if force and torque, it is the same thing. All right, so basically we can also be able to do quite a couple of mathematics if we have got multiple forces acting on an object. Mangathi nansi object yami, and then I apply multiple forces to it. Let's just say I apply a force lana, and then let's just say object yami, it is hinged here at the center. Maybe it's a circle and you fix it here at the center. And then I apply a what? I apply a force here, and I also apply a force here, right? So I'm going to have two forces, which is going to be force 1, and then this is going to be force 2. So we've got force 1 and force 2. So force 1 and force 2, they are at a certain distance from the hinge. Remember, with each distance from the hinge, it is the one that matters. The further away your force is applied from the pivot point, the greater the torque that you're gonna get. And then here we have got distance 1. On the other side, we have got distance 2. So having these two, we are now having two forces applied on the same object. So you can be able to compute a sum of any torque as well. So you can be able to compute the sum of the torques. So when you compute the sum of the torques, it simply means that you are going to add torque 1 plus torque 2. So we're going to add torque 1 and torque 2. So now when we add these torques, now we need to know with him, how do we assign directions for a torque edge? How do we assign directions? Because basically we said the torque is going to be a vector quantity, right? So it must have magnitude and must also have directions. So in we must look at the resultant motion that is caused by that force. So for example, if I come to this door, if I apply a force ganjen, this object or this door will rotate in what? Anti-clockwise, no clockwise. Manzo apply force ganjen. Anti-clockwise, because basically we already see the rotational motion is going to be something like this. So this is an anti-clockwise motion. But if it happens that I choose to apply my force, and then I say I apply it in this direction. So let me just say the first one. Let me just paint it more red. If I apply a force in this direction, basically the rotation that is resulting from that is going to be an anti-clockwise rotation. So umnyango wako will rotate in an anti-clockwise way. But if I apply my force in this direction, it means that manjo force applied to arm is in this direction. What will happen to the door? It will rotate clockwise again. So you know that the door will rotate clockwise. So we've got anti-clockwise, I can say counterclockwise. We also have got clockwise as well. So now basically when it is rotating anti-clockwise, we assign the torque to be what? To be positive. So if it happens, if force that I'm applying, it is causing a torque that is causing this to rotate in an anti-clockwise manner, then your torque is going to be positive. But if it happens that the force that I'm applying will cause a torque that will cause a rotational motion in a clockwise direction, this will give me a what? A negative torque. So basically we've got a positive torque, we also have got a negative torque. How do you assign the positive and the negative? It depends on the what? On the rotation that will result from the force. If it's anti-clockwise, that's going to be the rotation. If it is clockwise, that's going to be the rotation. So let me just adjust the force which is force 2. Force 2 it is acting in this direction. As analyze any mind. When I'm adding these two torques, since torques are vector quantities as well, basically I want us to know what will happen. What will be the sum of the torques here? What will be the sum of the torques? Torque number 1, which is caused by force 1, is it going to be negative or is it going to be positive? Negative. Okay, yeah, let's just let me just angle force rotate. This is the force 1. So it's the torque that's going to be caused by force 1. Torque 1, negative or positive? Negative, right? Yeah, it's kind of like I'm pulling this to be anti-clockwise. I want it to be like that actually. Let me just adjust i-force yami ibe kanje. Pulling this to be anti-clockwise. Now i-force yami sengishintshe kawu-3. But basically, my force, I'm applying it in this way. So I know if I'm going to pull this is going to rotate in a what? In an anti-clockwise manner. It's going to rotate in an anti-clockwise manner. If I'm going to pull it here, then it's going to rotate in a what? In a clockwise manner. So, ninga stress kakhulu ngama directions because ama directions, even in linear motion, remember we said these directions, they are what? They're arbitrary. So you are not always supposed to choose right as what? As positive. You can choose left as positive. But as long as ukhethe i-1 uswe positive, enye izoba njani? Izoba negative. Sayazi into kanjalo ngisho. Yes, they are arbitrary, but you should be careful. Try to use these ones whereby azi abantu bayabona yini le force yami ngifuna ukuthi iyenze clockwise le. Nansi. Uforce wami mangize rotate kanjeni izoba clockwise angisho. Asimeni ukuthi izoba kanjalo vele. Noma mhlawumbe iforce yami kumele ngize ngiqondise ibe kanjani kanje. Okay, it's fine. This is way better. If I pull it kanje, I know that this is going to rotate clockwise. But if I pull it kanje, I know that this is going to rotate anti-clockwise. Yes. So we're going to have torque 1 which is going to rotate clockwise. That's going to be what? Negative torque, right? So I'm going to say that's negative. And then the other one is going to be positive. And then now you already know, you just substitute the force and the distance, right? Obviously, torque, you know that it is the force times the distance, sine of bani, sine of theta, right? And this is going to be negative. And then this is going to be the force, in this case with distance 1, force 1, distance 1. Ngalena is force 2, distance 2. Sine of lo theta OSB, the angle enye futhi. It's not the same angle. Let me just say sine beta, then I say sine theta. So basically the angle that we are talking about here, it is the angle between the force and the distance vector. Nangalena, the angle between D2 no force 2, which I will call it ubani, beta kanjeni. That is the angle that we are talking about. But that is the basic idea. So ama torques, you can be able to add them together. And when you add them together, you get a certain thing. You get a certain total torque, no matter the net torque. So basically, yeah, that's how it works. So anti-clockwise rotation, anti-clockwise rotation, we're gonna get a positive torque. But clockwise rotation, we're gonna get a negative torque. So there's no need for us to do this example because Vela is exactly what you did. You just substitute the values. If you know the force and the distance, you just substitute them. But if they don't give you the angle, this is the trick, ne? If angagniye the angle, usually they like scenarios whereby they're gonna give you an angle of bani of 90 degrees. So usually they like such scenarios. For example, the one that I'm looking at, they're just gonna give you a question. They tell you you are applying a force of 25 newtons. And then you are also applying another force ngalena of 40 newtons. Here mhlambe at displacement of 2 meters, ngalena maybe at displacement of 4 meters from the pivot. And then now they say calculate the total torque. If they don't give you any angle between the force vector and the distance vector, it means the angle is what? Is 90 degrees. So we assume usually that they want a maximum torque. Yes. Most of the times, if banga with statement the angle, but that is the whole idea of torque. Yeah, this is very important, and then this is very applicable in most fields. All right, so now we can be able to now create another law from this rotation thing. So basically, if you're having a rigid object that is under a net torque, you are actually going to get what? You are going to get a certain thing. Let me just say here it is. This is my pivot, and then now a object here. Manzofana object here, and I say, I'm going to apply a certain force. Let me just say apply two forces. You apply force ngalena, you apply force ngap. So I'm applying a force there. Another person is applying another force lapa. So at that instance, we are going to have a net torque. Sayibona leyo nto angisho, because we're having two forces that are causing any torque, right? So the net torque, it is actually going to give us what? It is actually going to give us it's going to give us the, okay, let's just do the sum of this is going to rotate. Let me just say if force of number 1. Okay, let's just do example so that we understand the right? Let's just do an example like this so that we understand it. Okay, I'm just going to do an example so that so I'm going to take two objects ngizothatha ama-object awu-2 ngithi nansi object yokuqala la, the object is 40 kilograms, and then on the other side I'm going to put another object lana ngithi the object is 1000 kilograms. All right, so nansi I'm going to give you the distance values. See, the distance between here and here is 20 meters, and then the distance between here and here is 5 meters. Now between this and the pivot, so nansi pivot here, this is where this object is fixed. So now we see the object in a mass of 40 kg, and we also have an object that has got a 1000 kilograms mass. Ka 1000 kilograms, but that does not always mean this one will actually fall in that direction, because omunye will tell themselves, if I put a heavier object on this side, then this seesaw will do what? It will rotate downwards. But that's not always true, because torque or rotational motion, it does not only depend on the what? On the force. It also depends on the what? On the distance from the pivot. So I get to determine which direction this will rotate, because basically we're having two objects lana. You might ask yourself which direction is rotating. But let me just adjust my my mass here and just make it 100 kilograms, just to prove one point lana. So if I make it 100 kilograms ganjena, I place my object closer, ngalena I place the object far away. I can try to see what is the net torque on this seesaw thing. So if I do the net torque, no matter the sum of all torques, ngizoeta torque 1 nobani no torque 2. But let's look at their directions. Torque 1, 40 kg. If 40 kg was applied here, it will cause this to rotate in an anti-clockwise, no matter clockwise. Anti-clockwise, yes, because basically we know this 40 kg is having a gravitational force, right? It's having a what? A gravitational force. So Leo gravitational force, if you just place the object here, it is going to weigh out this so that it rotates. Noma yes. So this one is going to be a positive torque, because this force will cause a what? It will cause a anti-clockwise rotation. But this other one, if we consider this object has a mass, so it is causing a certain gravitational force, Fg2. It will cause the object to rotate in what man? To this object to rotate. Clockwise, because basically this is weighing out on this side, causing this to rotate in a clockwise direction. So the torque that is supposed to be negative, torque 2, caused by object 2. So this is object 1, this is object 2. So this torque 2 uba negative. So now let me just try to see what is the sum of the torques there. So torque 1 is going to be the force of gravity 1. Actually, this is the only force acting on this object. Yes, we assume that this is the force acting on this object, little side. So force times what? Times distance. In this case, I want to say force here to net distance, they are what? They are perpendicular to one another. Because this is the distance here, this is the distance here, this is the force here. So there is an angle of 90 degrees. So there is no need for you to say FG1D sine theta, because you already know that the theta there is what? Is 90 degrees. And if theta is 90 degrees, we should say this is just 1. So it means this is just force times what? Times distance. And then this is going to be minus now. Torque 2, it is still the same case. It's going to be force of gravity 2 times distance 2. So I'm going to say this is distance 1, this is distance 2. So if we substitute our values, the force of gravity from the first object is going to be mass times bani times acceleration, gravitational acceleration. So this is going to be 40 multiplied by 9.8. This is FG1. And then the distance of this object from the pivot is what? Is 20 meters. So this is going to be 20 meters. This is all in standard units, by the way. So with that in mind, let us now substitute the gravitational force ASB. It is going to be 100 kg multiplied by 9.8, right? So this is going to be 100 kilograms multiplied by 9.8. You guys already know what the gravitational force is, mass times gravitational acceleration. Then the distance from the pivot is 5 meters. It's 5 meters. If it's no longer recording. Alright, so the sum of the torque lap will be what? 40 multiplied by 9.8 multiplied by 20 minus 100 times 9.8 multiplied by 5. Please calculate that one for me. For nje into esheshayo sizokwazi ukuqeda with the topic. Hey. 2,940, right? And then this is going to be newtons meters. Asibukeni lento le, the torque here, the sum of the torque is positive, number one. The sum of the torque is positive. Sitheni positive torque kanje, it causes what type of rotation? Anti-clockwise or clockwise? Anti-clockwise. So it means that this is actually in an anti-clockwise rotation, or in an anti-clockwise direction. So this combination will actually rotate in this anti-clockwise. But when I see yes, it's just because of the relationship between the mass and the distance. So if you increase the distance and you combine that with the force such that the torque is bigger, because the torque yangapha injani inkulu kune torque yakuphi yangaleni. But buka ke, this one is a lighter object, this one is a what? Is a heavier object. So say I want to actually, if we are going to, you can try. I think you did this in experiments. You did the experiment, right? The torque. If you already did the experiment, I'm sure you guys already saw it in real life. We'll see. If you're gonna put a heavy object closer to the pivot and you're gonna put a lighter object away from the pivot, there is a chance the lighter object will do what? Will actually cause the object to rotate in its direction rather than the heavier one. But all of that, it solely depends on the what? On the torque. So that's why it's important for you to calculate a torque that is anti-clockwise, no matter the torque that is caused by the what? By the lighter object, and the torque caused by the heavier object. You combine them respecting directions. Whatever answer that you wanna get will tell you where this will rotate. Yes. So it's not always about the size of the object, it's not always about the force that is being applied. The distance also plays a crucial role. As long as you want to be 40 times 9.8 times 20, this is why compared to 100 times 9.8 times 5. Because torque has got multiple factors contributing to it.